channel. Well, today this is part 3 in my Christmas decorating video where I'm trying to create a winter wonderland in all the different spaces of my home. And today the turn is for the dining room. So we're going to start here. I'm going to show you a little bit about the centerpiece, but also more importantly what I'm going to do with my tree canopy. For those of you who've been following me, you know that I have a tree canopy that I made for my spring tea party. And I just kept it, and I've been trying to decorate for each season and holiday as the year has gone on. So anyway, so let's start with showing you a little bit of what the plans are and kind of what I'm going to use for it. Okay, well, first of all, you may remember that I painted my tabletop with this kind of fab wall kind of technique and black and white. So I think just for, changing things up this year, I think I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not going to put my usual white tablecloth. So that's going to be part of it. And, I kind of like it because it's going to be a winter wonderland. This one will have more rustic touches to it. Now, you will see, again, if you want to know how I did this table and you haven't seen it, I'll put a link below in the description so you can go find that video. It's something that I did for my fall table, so you'll see it, that it's there. Now, for Christmas, I have a few new things that I found. This beautiful runner, which I think is from Burlington Coat Factory. It was like 20 bucks, something like that. I thought it was perfect because it has the ivory, it has the gold that I love, and it has, again, those rustic kind of vibe, a little bit on the rustic glam kind of side. I was also, if you see my part 1, you would have seen these beautiful candle holders. Mercury glass. These are from thrifting. Those were $3.99. This little votive, which also Mercury glass, I've had for a long, long time. And then you'll see also my tablescape. Now, I will not be showing you in this video how I created this because I did the same thing last year and I made a video for that. I'll put a link below so that you can find that video in terms of how I put all this whole thing together. But it's basically branches that I had that I created a centerpiece on, and I took my old village houses, painted them white, and I put them all over the place, and the rest is just, pine cones and little trees and so forth. The one difference is that I haven't put as many of my tall twigs. I actually had some people over for a little dinner, so I didn't want it to be too crazy, But in the past, I've done really a lot higher, and I've done like icicles and snowflakes coming from down here. I don't think I'm going to do that this year because I have another thing planned. Now, going around again, you'll see there's my other little candle holder. And I'm going to show you the table from the other side. Again, I make sure that it looks good on both sides, but I have different houses coming here and the little deer and so forth. So, in terms of what's happening here, let me tell you what I have planned. Okay, for those of you who haven't seen it, this is the canopy that I'm talking about. I have pretty high ceilings, so I created this copper canopy. I said copper because it's actually copper tubing, the same kind you use for plumbing, that I made this long time ago, and I've then decided to put some trees on it. And basically they're just attached with zip ties. That's all they're attached with. And they've, they survived since last April. That I think it was April or even earlier than that, I put them together. And it's a very light structure, but it has been very stable. And all I'm using is those little kind of little round discs. They have a pole also supporting them. Anyway, so this time around for my winter wonderland, I want to go a little step further. I want to make it more wintry wonderland. So I have several thoughts. One of them is to add more trunks. I went foraging again. These were foraged. I didn't buy any of these. This is all free stuff that I got from the floor in a nearby park. What I want to do is probably on the back there, add some more. I was able to find some really thick trunks. Now the thing is going to be, will they be able to support themselves and so forth? So that's going to be my challenge. I have some thoughts, but we'll see if they work out. Because this was a kind of spindly and little. These ones that I found this time are kind of heftier, so we'll see. So I don't also want to cover the entire window, but I do want to create a lot of verticals back there. Because I also have a curtain of lights, if you've seen those before. So I'm definitely going to have the curtain of lights going as far around as they can. I think mostly will be that kind of whole back side will be covered. Now, as you all know, my view from my window is not the best. So part of what I always try to do is camouflage it as much as possible. One of the things that I found while I was looking for my snow, because one of the things I'm going to do is add a lot of snow to my trees. I also saw this. I don't know if you guys ever tried it. I had never tried it before. It's supposed to create the look of kind of ice crystals on glass. So I'm just gonna have fun with that. Since I bought it, might as well use it. And I'm gonna do it on this window here. Apparently it cleans really easily with just Windex. There's a little corner there. I don't know if you can see. You know, we'll see. Maybe when there's more of it, it might look more dramatic. If not, I can just use some of my snow spray on it. But anyway, so those are two of the projects. Work on my window, add my trees, and add a lot more lighting. I was able to find this set of 200 lights, which have a little multi-function. These are from Walmart, and I'm gonna be using these, and I hope 200 is enough to go up and down my little skinny trees. If not, we'll see. But anyway, so that is the plan. And of course, then we'll put some beautiful dishes and stuff like that, like Christmas dishes, and a few other little surprises too that I may be able to add in here and there. So let's get started. Okay, here I am starting my Winter Wonderland. And these are all the trees and trunks that I foraged from the floor in my little local park. So first of all, I'm gonna give a little bit of a rinse because some of them had some mud and things like that. We don't want to bring that inside the house. So I'm gonna clean them up real good, and then I'm gonna start bringing them in and see which ones work. I don't assume that a lot of them are gonna work. Some of them were so brittle that they've kind of broke in half. I'm gonna start with the super long ones because I really need the height because I don't have much of a bottom for them to attach to. Anyway, there's a lot of things I'm gonna have to figure out for this to work. And whatever I can't use, of course, I'll compost. And if need be, I may be able to put some in my porch. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I rinsed them both sides. So now I'm gonna let them dry for a little while there while I do other things, and then we're gonna bring them inside, see how the magic happens. Okay, these are the first 4 that I brought in. I have a lot more, but I'm gonna start with my biggest ones. And as you can see, sometimes the bottoms are a little curved, which might make it more challenging. So all we can do is start and see what happens. Okay, since once the trees are here, it's gonna be really hard to access the window, which we normally don't have to. I'm gonna start with the window thing. So the first thing they tell you to do is to clean it really well. Okay, I'm gonna apply the crystals. I think I'm gonna kind of go all around because I'm kind of wanting to play with this idea. You probably seen those snow windows people do. I just saw one on YouTube yesterday. It seems so easy. I'm like, I really fun to try. So I think for this one, at first I was gonna do every little of these mullions, but and the mullions are on the inside, so I don't really have access to them. But I think I'm gonna try to do like a big oval. Okay, and it says it takes a little while to dry, so let's let that dry. Okay, the one that I saw recently, she basically used some very simple tools, like a spatula to kind of form kind of the areas, and just like a little brush to do the trees. Like it's gonna be like snow bangs and little Christmas trees. That's all it's gonna be. So let's see. I'll give it a go. Interesting. It's definitely fun. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but it's kind of fun. Okay, one thing I learned is better not to bother taking off because it makes a mess. Just keep piling it in. Okay, let's see if I can make a tree. Oh well, here. Oh my god, you guys, that was a process. I didn't even film it because so many times I was about to scratch it all up and clean up the window. I tried to make a house, but I'm not there yet at all. So anyway, at least, you know, it's a little messy, especially if you look up close, but I'm gonna leave it like that, especially for me, it's gonna be more of a backdrop. The crystals are kind of fun on the edges. The bottom ones are not showing because I did the whole thing. I might leave it another coat on the bottom. But yeah, they're kind of fun how they look. But I'm gonna leave my little snow scene alone. But these are the tools that I use, but you estimating a much better tutorial, so don't go by me. I kind of don't have the best tools either. So anyway, so now that that's done, I think we're gonna start putting the trunks. Now that my scene's done, now I'm gonna start with the first trunk, which is one of the heaviest. I'm a little concerned about it, but let's see what happens here. Not my new window. I'm gonna find the natural place that it wants to sort of lay. But I'm gonna find a point of attachment. It looks more natural, you know? Giving you a close-up here what I've done so far. That's one of the new ones. You see, I try to attach it on the side. That one has a really thick base. This one's over here. I was able to get one to the top, but the other one doesn't make it, so it's getting a little tricky for that one. So I'm trying to attach them in one place. I got that one over there attached to the corner. Has quite a bit of a curve. And I'm trying to use these things that I had. It's basically a wood disc. Whoops. With this flange that I had. And I want to use it as a base to support. Because I'm going to have to try to figure out how to attach. Because otherwise, see, they're flowing in the wind. Okay, let's see if we can finagle something here. I put two zip ties together so I can get around and that's it. Okay, this one's a little tricky because you almost make it in touch, but it's not gonna be secure. So I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna see if I can attach some kind of hanging wire, a hanging device, right? I got this D-ring, and then from there I can zip tie it. Let's see. I don't know how stable that wood's gonna be, but let me see what I can find. Okay, all the pieces are on. Some, again, nobody's gonna be leaning against these. They're just zip tied, and the piece de resistance is a piece of pine that I found, a branch. So that one came up pretty cute. So now, they look pretty good as they are. I gotta cut all the zip ties. I gotta add some snow, combination of using the snow blanket as well as some of the snow spray, what I have left. So, and we'll go from there. Then it's light. Now it's time to snow. Idea is to try to cover, whatever, I wouldn't necessarily cover every zip tie, but also it makes it make it look more real. I'm gonna start with this, and then the final touch is gonna be some spray snow. But, and I noticed that if you pull this, it's like working with spider webs. If you pull this, it helps it make it look a little bit more realistic. The thing is, you don't want straight lines. Try to avoid straight lines. So let's go over here, for instance. And just like spider webs and moss, this attaches, pretty fast. Okay, well, next day here, you can see I started to put some snow on my trees, the spray kind and the fluffy kind, and you can tell pretty much where I run out. So, and I went to Walmart, they didn't have any, so now I've ordered a few more cans of that spray, and hopefully I'll be able to finish that. But in the meantime, we got a few more things to do here. I'm gonna start with the lighting. Like I mentioned, the curtain of lights that I got, which by the way, they're kind of a bit of a pain because they tangle like crazy. But I'm planning to put this in this back area here. So let's see how that works out. Okay, I laid them on the table to get an idea of where they're gonna end up. The good thing is that the cord that goes to the outlet is pretty nice and long. That's just me unraveling it. So it looks like I'm gonna be more or less do the whole back and maybe a little bit on the sides, which is kind of what I was thinking would happen. It's a huge set, which is good and bad because it's so much tangling. Okay, so let's see if we can put it up. I'll probably try to zip tie it in here and there where needed. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do to make sure that it is even, I'm gonna try to look for the middle of this, and then I'll start from the middle around. I think it's safer, because otherwise I don't wanna end up with a lot here and then barely making it there. Okay, easier said than done because it's, again, it's very unruly, but let's see if we can figure out the center here. Okay, I folded it onto itself, and gotta pay attention to which are the top strings, right? So, there's a lot of everything. So it looks like this is the center. So I'm gonna mark it with one of these. All the bundles are on, and yeah, they're all working, and good thing I did them the way I did it, because as you can see, they didn't make it as far as I thought they were gonna make it. They barely covered the back, so that's good, that's fine. I'm not gonna stress about being a little bit more here, it's hardly anything. I might add a few zip ties, see where it's kind of sagging a bit. I'm gonna add a few more zip ties, and then I have to undo all the bundles, and that's where the magic begins. Let down your hair, Rapunzel. You'll find that these lights not only are super wide, but are super long. So I'll show you in a bit what I'm gonna do, because I don't necessarily want them to drag on the floor like that. When we went to Quebec last year, they had some of these in the window, and it was very clever because they were also too long for where they were using them. So they went ahead and tied them with this little kind of white ties that you see here, which is kind of came with the lights. They tie them to whatever length they wanted. So I'll show you that in a bit. But in the meantime, I have to let the hair down of all these, and then I'll show you the kind of the final effect here. Okay, I tie them all up, as you can see, so it's a little bit more tidy. See, hopefully not tangling and falling. So can't wait to see how it all looks at night. It'll be interesting. Now I need to put the rest of the lights, which are going to go on the corner trees and on the actual canopy itself, which just right now doesn't have much going on. So let's go to the lights that I'm planning to use. Hopefully there'll be enough to make it around. Process beginning. Okay, I did not have enough for that set to make it all the way up and down the trees on the corner. So what I'm gonna do is also I kind of wanted them to be white for the trees. So I have this other set of whites that I used outside that I think I'm gonna get 2 more of those sets. And so, but I had enough for them to make it all the way around. So that was good, that worked out good. Okay, because you know me, I can never leave well enough alone. I went ahead and added some extra little branches. I usually have these on my on my centerpiece, but since I use less, I got them here. And I figured I better put them on before I put my extra lights. And I'm gonna get 2 separate small sets of lights for the 2 trees in the corner here. But I'm using also this bark. Again, it's something I foraged a long time ago. I thought it was pretty. And it's kind of helped me kind of hide my copper pipes, which sometimes, shows. So, and I'm just sticking it in there. I'm not doing anything special other than sticking it in there. It's kind of interesting. Kind of like it. But see, sometimes when the copper pipe shows, it sort of breaks the illusion. So, and I got plenty of these, but I'm really happy with that one looks. Yes. Finally, for my trees, why not wedge in a few strategically placed pine cones? I have still tons of them. Just a matter of finding a good spot for them to wedge. And finally, the last touch. You didn't think I was done, did you? I gotta put some snowflakes. I probably won't put all of these. And sometimes these are the ones that I've hung from over there. I might put some in those centerpiece. Sometimes I put little snowflakes. And these are new this year. There's only, is it 4? Oh, actually, there's like 7 of those. So those will be in kind of prominent places because those are kind of the star. Okay, so let's see how it goes. Okay, well, I've put the final touches on the table, the chargers, which someday I want to actually go leave this again. I'm hopefully going to do that soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm using the same napkin rings that I made for Halloween because I think that black kind of adds a lot of elegance. It kind of goes with the table as well. Again, I don't have enough of this napkins or the other napkins, so what I do oftentimes, I just mix and match. And again, don't feel free to do that with glasses, with plates, with napkins, because you gotta do what it takes. So there is the table completed. I'm showing to you now without any lights, just daytime kind of view. You can see my little window there. I added some snow blankets just to hide some of those kind of unsightly kind of bases, which were not particularly pretty. They were kind of, all beat up and all that. So that makes them look a little bit nicer. I just tucked it in. I didn't attach anything, but it makes it look a little bit more realistic. Now, my last quandary, which will not be solved before you see this, is whether to add lights to these 2 front trees here. The issue being that when I try to put lights on them, I don't know, I hate seeing the lights. If I had that many I do have the fairy lights, I just don't have the batteries. Maybe that would be better because they'll be a little bit more, subdued. But when you see those big regular lights, I don't know. I just didn't like them, especially if they were green. I tried those lights and I didn't like them. And I thought, well, I'll get some white ones. But I think it's going to be the same issue. In some ways, it's sort of kind of ruin the illusion a little bit. Not that I know, there's a lot of other things you can see, like zip ties and all that. And again, I'm still waiting for my snow spray to spray the rest of those trunks that didn't get sprayed. I didn't spray most of the back or this one here on the left side. So anyway, but I figure I'll give you a last view so we can close this video. Now stay tuned for the full tour because who knows, by then I might have done something differently. I sometimes do that by the time I do the full final. I've done some tweaks here and there, so don't be surprised to see something different. Okay, I'm gonna turn on the lights. I don't know how well you can see them. This is kind of midday, but I'm gonna turn on the lights so you can see it with the lights on. table this year. I forgot to show you. This is another log that I foraged some years back, and I just made some holes so I could put some candles in. Added some pine cones and glitter, and I really love it. Now, I normally put it over there by the window, but now since there's so many trees there already, I think it looks a little silly. So it's gonna have to share space here with my kings. I usually have my 3 kings here, and these are the king's gift, of course. We got the incense, we got the gold, and we got the myrrh, which in this case is oil beads for the bath. That's the closest I could find to myrrh. Anyway, so just wanted to share that with you as well. And then lastly, I also want to share my living room. I don't do a whole lot in my living room since we spend almost no time here. I did put some Christmas pillow covers, and I do have, you know, a few little things here. This is a little what I did with my sled. If you saw my first decor plan kind of video, I spray painted it gold, and I used some of those kind of leftover, pine and bushes and things like that that I had from the previous one. And these are just some old candles that I had. Not a whole lot in my living room. Nothing much happening here.